What's going on, y'all, and welcome on into the Lethe honest review for Epic 7. Today, of course, you guys already know I had to summon this character, and I told myself I would triple S her as long as she was remotely playable for my own style, which is a more bruiser, definitely a more slower style. And then given the fact that she was so high base speed, given the fact that I gave her frostbite, there was a chance I thought that maybe she was strictly for the more aggressive / cleave style players. Good news is, guys, I think she's powerful enough. She's very, very strong to be used by multiple playstyles. So I'm going to go and talk about my own experience with her today. Show you all the builds, everything like that. But before we start, as always, guys, how did your summons go? I do have to talk about this real fast. My chat and community on my live stream were not happy with me at all. Given the fact that I was almost ready to spend everything to try and triple S her, because just design-wise, she was my favorite looking unit in a long while. I did spend, I think I started today at 1,700 bookmarks. So we spent about 1,100, which is under 2 pities worth, to get 6 copies of Lethe and 3 of her artifacts. 1 off-banner Arti on top of that. So very good luck, guys. Last time on Luluka, I full pitied without getting a single artifact and only 1 copy of Luluka. So, you know, I do think my luck in Epic 7 is very good overall, but this time especially, it was really, really good. So I'm very happy. Let me know how your luck went. If you did super good like I did, congratulations. I'm super happy for you. If you got unlucky, didn't get her artifact, had to pity, my heart goes out to you guys. I've been there just like the last banner. But overall, as always, let me know how those go. Okay, y'all, let's jump straight into the honest review. Now, this is the build I settled on, but during testing, the gear was much worse. I didn't want to steal any gear. That's usually how I litmus test these units. I'll throw in spare gear, see how they work, and then after I do a lot of testing, I'll give them a more finalized build. This is not the final build by any means. Just for example here, and I'm going to go more in depth here in just a second, but speed I would like to be a little bit higher, 230, 240-ish range. But the bulk, I went for a specific high defense. Health is going to be obvious soon enough if you haven't played Lethe yet. Most of y'all know why very high health is important, but the high defense for me personally is very important for this build, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. But real fast, guys, I want to talk about this before we jump into skill enhancements. There has been another content creator. I don't want to name them. It was an honest mistake probably, but I did hear that there is some information that they confirmed or tested that skill 1 skill enhancements, the Molagora, increases the damage of the Call of the Abyss, which for a lot of you guys watching, depending on how you play Lethe, if you're not going to just use her as a cleaver with like Commander Pavel, for example, like a setup unit for that with mainly the Frostbite, if you want to use her more for that bruiser style, going to delete someone Dark Corvus-esque, with the extinction, if you want to use that kind of Call of the Abyss, keep in mind that skill 1 skill enhancements do not affect this, okay? It's been tested, it's been confirmed by multiple sources, so just a heads up, do not waste your skill enhancements in skill 1. I'm just going to +5 this eventually just because I like this unit. I triple S'd her because I want to show Smilegate, you know, I like these style of units, so just keep that in mind, guys. But let's go ahead and talk about the stats real fast. I have a very basic speed plus health setup, and I think this is one of the best. The 2-piece setup, guys, you can use whatever you like. A lot of people like to do hit set, because if you guys do want to make sure you land Frostbite and Restrict, let's say you play a little more aggressive or faster than me, you want to capitalize on the Frostbite especially, you guys can get more effectiveness so that you land your debuffs on more units, right? Especially with the imprint on top of that. So 2-piece set is really whatever you want, but I firmly believe for most of y'all watching that speed set is going to be the best. She has high base speed, right? Her speed is the same as Conqueror Lilius's, and look how slow I am still. But I was able to stack a ton of health because of that. So overall, bulk defense will be up to you. Stack as much health as possible so that you can hit really hard with the Call of the Abyss. We want to make sure we kill the target, 1, for the extinction, and 2, right, for the life gain, which could be relevant if you're a bruiser player like me. And then I also topped off some effect resist, but that's just a personal preference. I had an extra stat, and since I do play Maid Chloe, a lot of times I can get this pushed up to like 100% effect resist for a unit like this. So maybe I'll dodge a random provoke or blind here and there from low effectiveness units. But overall, not important. Just make sure your health and speed are on point first and foremost. And then from there, defense, effectiveness, or effect resist, whatever you want. Effect resist, probably not good for a lot of y'all. Stay with effectiveness, defense, and speed health, of course. All right. Moving right along from there, guys. The strengths of, let's talk about her skills and just what makes her very good. Lethe, I kind of mentioned the Commander Pavel Frostbite and Restrict setups. That can be very good. She's a good Frostbite activator. The fact that she gets free Soulburn is huge. The tempo swing she gets from her first turn, putting that Omen on every unit. So besides the Frostbite, guys, which some of y'all might capitalize on, for me, I want to focus on the Omen. So we get the free skill 3, right? The AoE freeze over. We put an Omen stack on every single unit on the enemy team, regardless of anything, right? It's always going to activate. And on top of that, then we can follow up with the free soul burn with another omen stack. So one unit on the opponent's team is going to have 2 omen stacks, and I think of this like a ticking time bomb. I made a reference to Dark Corvus earlier, and that's how I play her, and I think a lot of y'all might enjoy playing her in this style. Think of her like a faster Dark Corvus, a bomb with a shorter fuse, meaning she may not hit as hard as Dark Corvus, especially when he soul burns, but she activates so fast, guys. The free soul burn, the skill 3 into the skill 1, and given she gives herself increased speed up because of that skill 1, and a lot of y'all are going to build even faster than me, that third attack, right, that second turn, technically, if you don't count the free extra turn, that second hit or the third omen stack is going to happen so fast your opponent is going to be pooping their pants, to put it lightly. And that brings me to the next point on the stats, guys, why I have so much defense and health. Health, obviously, but defense especially, because every single opponent I fought focused her down like crazy. They did not want the chance for her to get that omen 3 stacks to the Call of the Abyss for the extinction and the big heal. They all focused her like insane. My chat was saying like she has a built-in provoke. Everybody focused her so hard. So I think the fact that she is an HP scaling unit, and then if you guys are also able to build defense, effect resist, I might like 2 for random defense breaks here and there, but overall, keep that in mind. People will focus her down, okay? So overall, just to recap, her play style for me, we want to just make her as high health as possible to be durable, as well as make sure that Call of the Abyss, the Kraken summon, hits very hard and does some insane damage. So we use her like a ticking time bomb, a faster Dark Corvus. We build up stacks, identify your target early, and when you hit that third hit, guys, I'm telling you, you will pop Karinas, Lionhearts, anything that's not a dedicated tank or like an Apocalypse Robbie with like 25k health. I'm hitting easily for 20k if I'm uncontested. And that leads me to my next point. What are Lethe's weaknesses? So in RTA today, I picked her first every single match. Now, this is obviously not going to be good in the long run, guys. An ice unit, you know, that's not like a support style unit, is going to have a ton of hard counters, or at least some counterplay. And Lethe is no exception. I think she's very strong, but there are units that really shut her down. Namely, guys, on an HP scaling unit, injury. So units like Apocalypse Robbie, Alencia, anything with a lot of injury is going to really, really hurt Lethe, because that just means her Call of the Abyss is going to get a lot of its damage nerfed, shaved off, and she may not secure the kill, right, which would lead to extinction. So I'm going to plan to pick her a lot more carefully here to try and dodge those injury units, and then lock her in a later pick where she's going to be absolutely brutal. But even in the first pick spot, I was winning a lot of matches. Even against cleavers, I was kind of just forcing her into a lot of different scenarios, and I think she had a ton of value. Maybe it was just the built-in provoke. Maybe my opponents were picking it away where my other units could shine. But I think Lethe standalone, just in general, is a very solid unit, guys, that can fit a lot of different playstyles, which I think is a hallmark of an overpowered unit, but also a fun unit that a lot of you guys watching, no matter how you play, could make good use of, okay? So once again, very all-rounded style. Just pick and choose what you want. I personally like the heavy bruiser, you know, hunt someone down and activate that extinction, that Call of the Abyss. Some of y'all might want to build her super fast and use her as like a more aggressive opener with that frostbite and enable the rest of your team. You'll also get the Call of Abyss as well, but maybe you won't do as much damage or be as tanky. All right, so after that, guys, let's just talk about skill enhancements real quickly. I already covered the skill 1. Skip this entirely if you're not a Lethe fanatic, if you're free to play and just want to save some skill enhance or molas, unless you're building crit for some reason. Don't worry about this. Remember, Call of the Omen can't crit, but some of y'all might want the crit on S1 if you're like a weird cleaver style. But overall, just skip this for 99% of y'all watching. Skill 2, you're going to want to max out 100%. It's very obvious. If you don't max this out, there's a chance you'll miss an Omen stack, which is huge. Do not skimp on this at all. And skill 3, guys, you can actually skip the very last one here, because for a lot of y'all watching, once again, the damage part is not important on the skill 1 and skill 3. All the damage is going to come through from the Kraken, the Call of the Abyss, okay? So you can go to +4 on freeze over. I think you do want that extra chance to, even when you don't make good full use of frostbite and restrict, like me, for example, I'm a slower player. The restrict later in the line can be huge. It can be a game changer. Frostbite too, obviously. But yeah, +5 in Dreamer in the Deep and +4 on freeze over. Skip skill 1 unless you're crazy like me. All right, guys, last but not least, and I'm going to need your help on this portion. Usually I test a lot of different artifacts, or at least I hear from people what other artifacts they're working on. Guys, I think most of us here, at least in my stream and from my own experience, I was only using Prayer of Solitude. I think this artifact is absolutely busted, so stay tuned. I'm going to wrap this all up at the end with a full honest review, plus like if I think y'all should summon and how much you should summon on this banner. But if anyone out there was testing other artifacts, let me know. I just think if you do have this artifact and maybe you're not prioritizing it on a like a Lencia or Shu, who are also very good candidates for this, I think this is just a clear winner. Remember too, I forgot to mention this, guys. the health percent here does not show up on your stat line. So my Lethe is sitting at over 30,000 health, and this is the only artifact to date that straight up buffs health like that, right, at this huge margin. On top of that too, Lethe is a perfect unit that can scale with this, so we want our Call of the Abyss to hit as hard as possible. For now, I don't really see a reason to not run Prayer Solitude unless I need this on another unit, because it's so good. The value pack is insane. Closing thoughts and final verdict, guys. Lethe is very good. Obviously I'm a little biased because design wise I was going to pull her no matter what, but I wouldn't have went for as many copies as I did if her artifact wasn't amazing, if she wasn't amazing for me personally. And so she's a great unit, a fun unit that can be used in a lot of different styles. I said earlier, this is a hallmark of an overpowered, fun, just solid unit. The fact that a lot of y'all watching, even if you're a cleaver, can use her, even if you're a bruiser player like me, can use her. I think she's an amazing unit. Maybe not always first pick. There's going to be a lot of counters like Indri, maybe Archieman Meru sealing her. There's going to be a lot of counterplay involved, but I think overall she's super solid. And the fact that her artifact is good as well, definitely pull on this banner. Free to plays, pick up one copy of her just because she's limited alone and she's a good unit. Pick up one copy of her artifact with powder, and if y'all really like her, go ahead and go for multiple. Remember too though, guys, if you go for multiple copies, you're really going for the artifact here because it's so solid. Lethe herself, her imprints aren't the best unless you play like me. I really value the defense, but overall she doesn't have like an insane self imprint like speed or crit chance, so don't worry about that too much. But you do probably want multiple copies if you're not like purely free to play or if you're a veteran player. Overall, amazing banner, amazing unit, amazing looks wise. I rate this like 10 out of 10 everything, guys. Obviously I'm biased once again, but I do think you guys will enjoy her a lot. Fun, very strong, fits multiple styles. What's there not to like? That concludes our review. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good luck on your summons if you haven't pulled yet, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.